MAGA supporters invaded our HBCU.
What is going on over here?
You called the East primitive, but what? We created y'all knowledge. We created y'all science. We created y'all math. Y'all didn't do shit besides steal. Y'all didn't do anything to your... You guys didn't make shit. You guys touched children. You guys fucked.
Showing them the door.
We walking them to the door, y'all. I don't even know how they got on campus. We gonna figure that out, but I don't know. They need to get like a trespass penalty or something.
He didn't know that TSU was an HBCU until the night before. He didn't know until they told him on campus.
There is nothing worse than a liar, because if you're a liar, you'll steal, you'll do everything. These guys knew that they were coming to Tennessee State University, which is a historically black college and university. They knew exactly what they were doing. Their goal was to agitate and antagonize those students. But what they did not think was going to happen is that they would be escorted off the campus because they tried to run roughshod. So now, once the media has gotten a hold of this story, because this is a big story here in Nashville, and it has also made national rounds, especially protecting HBCUs. Now the next message is, well, we didn't know. We didn't know we were there. That is what is wrong with these people. You know, I had all kinds of comments from my previous video, and people were talking about, oh, well, you should be able to debate people, you know, just because you have differences, you should be able to debate. No, these people are liars, okay? They got caught up in their shit. And now it's a problem. They get on the local news and say, we didn't know. And that is some bullshit. They had the wrong intentions. They got caught up in their shit. And now you didn't know. But we don't forget.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right. So in today's episode, you're going to be reacting to videos of MAGA supporters who walked into a HBCU university, Tennessee State University. And I don't know what they were expecting to get from this, but it badly backfired.
Right. So many people have come onto the internet, both black and white Americans, and they do feel like them going to this university with the specific questions they wrote on their apply cards was antagonistic, and it was malicious, purposefully malicious.
Right. And then another thing you ask yourself, how do you go to a school not knowing its history, especially because of the topics you're going to debate about, and then come and claim that you didn't know it was a HBCU? Is it that you didn't know, or was it that you were caught in a lie?
Right. So let's watch these videos that we prepared for you today, and then you come back and talk about it. The biggest thing that caught my attention with today's episode was there was one black American in specific who was trying to look at the roof of this university to see if there was any black person with a rifle on top of the, you know. So
it's not a laughing matter.
It's not a laughing matter, but this was to say that they should have focused their energy in this particular day on another university that is particularly white, predominantly white. Anyway, let's watch and then you come back and talk about it.
Those MAGA boys who showed up to Tennessee State University's campus to debate racism and then pretended they didn't know they were on an HBCU campus, that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that you don't know the culture of the city that you're in or the part of town that you are in. That's embarrassing. There are 2 HBCUs over there. Fisk University is there too, home to the Fisk Jubilee Singers, a black gospel choir that is the reason that we are named Music City in Nashville. We are named Music City because of a black gospel choir at Fisk University. That street over there on that side of town, Jefferson Street, used to be a footpath for people leaving a slave plantation to go east towards the Cumberland. Jefferson Street used to be the original Music Row. It is the original Music Row, where black rock and roll artists and black rhythm and blues artists recorded their music. Etta James, Otis Redding, Jimi Hendrix, Ray Charles recorded their music on that street, in that neighborhood. There's a museum there, Jefferson Street Sound. You should check it out. Educate yourself a little bit. During the Civil Rights era, there were sit-ins in that neighborhood. There were sit-ins on that street. You're standing in one of the richest parts of black culture, not only in the United States, but in Nashville, Tennessee, in the state of Tennessee. And you're over there debating racism and pretending you don't know you're on an HBCU campus? That's embarrassing. That's humiliating, actually. Nashville wouldn't be what it is today without black culture. The Nash Vegas that it is today is just white corporate capitalism repackaging black culture as some sort of consumable product to encourage people to come here and buy alcohol in honky-tonk bars owned by white country artists. This city is black history. I mean, what are we known for? Music and hot chicken, both things given to us by black Tennesseans. And you're going to step foot in that side. That used to be one of the wealthiest black-owned neighborhoods in the United States. They had one of the wealthiest black-owned banks in the United States, and the state built a highway over their neighborhood to disperse people, to break it up. It's environmental racism. You don't know what city you're in. You don't know what ground you're standing on. And for that reason, you should not be debating anything.
Just gonna look and see if there's anybody on the roof. On any roof. I don't see nobody on the roof. All right? All right. Cool. That's checked. All right. People obviously upset with him in this red MAGA hat. All right. Justified. Understandable. Okay. Okay. Not seeing anything wrong yet. Not seeing anything. All right. He's not scuffed up. Okay. All right. All right. And apparently MAGA wasn't even invited. Say whatever y'all want about MAGA being escorted off of Tennessee State, because first of all, they weren't invited. Okay. And secondly, they got to go back home to their family. All right. It's safer at the HBCU. We may not agree. We may even escort you off the premises because you weren't invited to begin with. But we will not be on top of a roof sniping you from 200 yards away. That's what we're not going to do. Okay? So my point was literally proven. It is safer at a HBCU.
All right, settlers, I'm back, and I'm ready to have a lecture about your obsession with wanting to harm HBCUs. You know, the institutions that expose who's superior and who's inferior. I mean, we can all see that you love the bands. You steal the dances, you copy the swag, but you keep HBCU funding on life support, while blowing money on PWIs where only 0 to 25% of the enrollment are graduating. It's clear that the colonizers don't want Black Americans to have their own institutions. They want Black brilliance funneled into their schools. See, they understand the intelligence that's within Black Americans, which is why there is such an effort to control just how many are allowed to obtain a degree, especially when the PWI enrollment and degree numbers are trending lower and lower each semester. And HBCUs are bursting at the seams. Literally record-breaking numbers for graduations and enrollment. Exhibit A. Tennessee State. The state itself just admitted to withholding $2.1 billion from its own HBCU. A calculated move to keep TSU struggling, to make their programs harder to run, to make their degree harder to get. So when the athletics are underfunded, where do the top recruits go? When the music programs suffer with low recruitment numbers due to an intentional low budget, how can we certify the next generation of great music educators? I mean, look at how dramatically the band has shrank in size. This is a Grammy award-winning HBCU program. Where does the next genius music producer go? They get scooped up. Their talent gets monetized. But the legacy, the community, the Black ownership, stolen. Another case of start your own, do your own thing. And when you do, you always attack with pettiness and jealousy, and the usual theft of resources and talent to create dependency, harming innocent young adults for absolutely no reason. A sick obsession with control. You're the only people competing. You're actually trying, and you're still losing to the Black Indigenous people of this land who are just existing and are still smoking you like a Newport. Just take the L.
Yeah, that's right. Packed up and packed out.
MAGA supporters invaded our
Yo, what is
HBCU.
going on over here?
Now, this is the kind of energy that I like to see, because you're showing up to an HBCU campus unprovoked, for absolutely no reason but to antagonize Black people. And here's the thing, the antagonistic behavior towards Black people has continued to increase since Charlie Kirk's death. Whole time, Black people had nothing to do with it. We just minded our business, our Black ass business. But to try to trespass on somebody's campus to promote what you know is directly in opposition of said campus is egregious. And I personally feel like they should have been arrested. But since we all know how that go, I'm proud of my HBCU brothers and sisters for doing this.
Showing them the door.
We walking them to the door, y'all. I don't even know how they got on campus.
And my thing is, you just know that they wanted the black students to respond in a way that would make them feel justified or allow them to be able to go to the media and say that black people are violent or ignorant, whatever it is. And I feel like that would have been warranted. But either way, they got them out of there.
I just want to know what is happening in this country. The fact that MAGA supporters came on to a HBCU at Tennessee State University is so diabolical to me, because why are you trying to provoke African American students when you don't like African Americans? And why not just go to a Utah all white PWI school? I don't understand. I don't get it. The reason for HBCUs were because way back then, not too long ago, white Americans segregated African Americans against the white Americans. You guys didn't want us to go to your schools. So why are you going purposely to try to antagonize black students and try to start a race war? For what?
A MAGA-affiliated group, known on social media as the Fearless Tour, decided to make a stop at the HBCU, Tennessee State University. Now, they came unannounced, uninvited, and unwelcomed to Tennessee State University to try to set up a debate table. They set up their debate table with big signs with inflammatory rhetoric on it, like DEI should be illegal and deport all illegals immediately. Needless to say, this did not go over well with the students in the HBCU, which is basically what they wanted. They wanted some type of incident that they could catch on tape to say that these students were to be feared and they were dangerous and violent and all of that. Well, because that is usually not the case, the students, although clearly not happy in the footage, never laid a hand on the MAGA affiliates. Instead, they called the university staff and police to come and escort them off the premises. Because this MAGA group was not affiliated at all with the Tennessee State University, and they did not ask permission to come there and start a debate with the students, they were promptly asked to leave and escorted off the premises, with a crowd of students and cops peacefully walking them to the door. And I will say that in the footage, it was kind of funny to see them believe their own rhetoric. The MAGA affiliates were escorted out, but they were completely surrounded by black police officers and black students as they went. And one of the MAGA affiliates that had the camera on the entire time would put the camera towards his face, and you could literally see the fear in his face as they're escorting him out. The thing is, the students around him, they weren't even stunting that dude, but he drank his own Kool-Aid and they believed their own rhetoric so much that he was actively uncomfortable. If you are following me on the YT, I will try my best to find a clip to clip at the end of this video, because it was hilarious. But in all honesty, stuff like this is not funny. And they're becoming more and more bold in black spaces, to the point where two men in Mississippi were strange fruited. One of them was a 21-year-old black college student going to school at Delta State University, and the other was a 36-year-old man that they found outside of a Vicksburg casino. In the case of the student, even though he was found in the middle of a courtyard by the pickleball courts, and there is a discrepancy on what state his body was in, the police immediately tried to say that he did that to himself, before coming out a day later saying that the case had some developments, not specifying what those developments were. Mixed information has been coming out about that case since, and the coroner's office is disagreeing with a lot of the information concerning what condition that student's body was in. Naturally, there is a lot of distrust, especially since the police were so quick to come out saying that he had done it to himself, as well as the other 36-year-old found in the same condition on the same day. So civil rights groups have rightfully gotten involved, wanting an actual investigation as to what happened to these two men. And Colin Kaepernick has come forth offering to provide the funds for a third-party autopsy, because two black men being found in trees in Mississippi during a time when the rhetoric against black people has become so bold is starting to not only drum up a lot of memories for people who are still alive when those things used to happen a lot more often, but it is drawing up concerns for people in the black community who are feeling less and less safe. They are always trying to make it seem as if the black community are the ones who are the instigators. They are always trying to make it seem as if the black community are the ones who are violent, the ones who are criminal, who are always committing some type of heinous crimes. And yet, they can never keep themselves out of our spaces.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the videos we just played you, yeah? Do you remember when a wise black American somewhere started spreading the word? They're trying to provoke you into action. Please don't fall for it. Just continue being silent and continue existing.
Minding your business.
Mind your business. They voted for it. They're gonna be getting what they voted for. And when what hits the fan, you know what, right? Do not come out trying to join them in whatever actions they're trying to take. I feel like that is what black Americans are practicing right now.
It is what is now provoking a lot of these white supremacists who are considering themselves racist in secret, you know. And I do feel like clearly, as I say, this was, it had malicious intentions behind it, what they did, because how can you go to a predominantly black space knowing full well that a majority of the black population in America does not support MAGA and what MAGA stands for. So you take your regalia and all that is to do with MAGA and go and rub it on their faces, which I do feel like I'm really happy that these students didn't engage with them. They just simply showed them the door. The same way they came in, they were being taken out. You get?
And my biggest question is, universities are supposed to be private institutions where only sometimes goers with IDs go, you know, unless you have permission.
Okay, here in Kenya, only people who have the school IDs of that institution are allowed to enter that facility. So I don't know how it happens in America, but should you be an outsider who's looking to gain access to the university, it must be passed through the administration and you must be vetted to make sure that you are not a threat, any sort of threat to the students, any type of student going attending that university. Here in Kenya, that is how it is done. So,
right. I'm even asking myself, this is an HBCU university. Did they get the permission to be in that institution? And did they give out genuine intentions as to why they were visiting the premises? You know, I don't know.
Because at this point, I'm seeing the best option of how they got in there. Maybe they used someone who attends the school. But I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Americans, please tell us, how do people like these ones gain access to a school? Because I do understand the case of Charlie Kirk. He was an influential person. Definitely. He was owner or co-owner of Turning Point USA. So I think his credentials could have gotten him into so many schools. But for these two boys here who are trying to become the new Charlie Kirk,
and you know,
how did they gain access to that
institution? And you know, you've mentioned something that made me remember. From the minute I watched these videos of the guy wearing MAGA hat, and then, you know, from those videos, my statements to Maureen was, why does he look like he's a Charlie Kirk wannabe, you know? Because when you look at him, he doesn't even look original, you know? It's like he's trying to replicate the work that Charlie Kirk did. This guy really, you know?
Right, and I do feel like if both of them, if they wanted to, you know, skyrocket their career to the point where they get the kind of recognition or they get someone's attention who will sponsor them the way Charlie Kirk was being sponsored by so many, you know, important donors, you know. I do feel like it was strategic. No, they didn't even itch the bed. This was strategy. They bet on the place that would get them the most visibility, and that was a black university. Because tell me why the shooter of Charlie Kirk has already been proven to be white. You know, it's not even a black person. You know, and tell me why they choose a black university to go and talk about how Charlie Kirk ran his affair. It doesn't make sense.
Actually, it makes a lot of sense.
So I feel like they purposefully chose that university because it would get them the most attention in a short span. Only that somehow their plans went haywire when the students didn't engage with them. Instead, they kicked them out.
Yeah, but they've still gotten that attention. That actually makes sense than what I was thinking. Personally, I was thinking if they wanted to get recognition position and for something, and they wanted a powerful person to take note of them, then being chased out of a university before you even speak your message might not have been the right way to get attention. You'll be looked at as you itched the bed. But even also what you've explained makes a lot of sense, because out there, how many people are doing exactly what you're doing, what you are doing or what you want to start doing, that have already gained that ground, and why should people
ahead
listen
of
to
you?
The
So the quickest way for you to, the Snequentes and the rest, the quickest way for you to get at the top of the line or at the front of the line is by going to the heart of where you want the racial war to
where
start.
the danger is.
To spark the racial war. And unfortunately, just like the rest of the season since their new president entered the office, they have not managed to, spark that fire.
Right. The most important message today is they should have gone to, if they wanted we now know why, but they should have gone to speak to the people who are interested in that topic. Clearly not a HBCU, because they have
nothing to do with that. And then, over and above, I do feel like, just as we've said, even if right now it feels like, or it looks like to some degree it was a failure, and to some degree it was a, what is it called, success. I do believe that there's one sponsor out there who's following their careers closely to see if they will be their person or not. So either ways, they were trying something, is what I'm trying to say.
How do you go also to a press conference and then say you didn't know that it was a HBCU? How do you even plan? When somebody is planning, before you even pick the venue, there's a good reason why you're picking that venue, because you've gone
very
through,
calculative.
Exactly, you've done your research and you've known that this venue will be good for our event because of X and Y, you know. So how do you sit in a press conference and try and lie your way around by
that
saying
you didn't
that?
Know.
Exactly, by saying that you didn't know that was a HBCU. Anyway.
Out of all the universities around you.
Right.
I wonder if they come from that place, or they traveled all the way from a different state to go there just for that.
Whoever is watching and you know the answer to that, we'd like to hear what you have to say about that. But guys, that is all we had for you for today. Let us know what you think about this on the comment section. Maureen, I don't know if you have any last words, or this is where the episode ends.
Yeah, okay, this is where the episode ends, but I do have to say that I'm quite happy that none of the students laid their hands on them.
They didn't take the bait.
They didn't take the bait, although it would have been very easy to lay them flat. I'm very happy they didn't take that opportunity. Instead, they just chased them out of the university, because these guys...
is a harsh word. They were escorted out.
They were kindly escorting them out of those premises, and I do feel like they truly, genuinely did go there to start something.
Right, and good thing is nothing happened, so nothing for the news, mainstream media to talk about.
No, the mainstream media, especially in that area, is talking about it, but in a week or so, in a week or so, the story will die down, and maybe they look for somebody else to harass.
Or something else to do, to start some, Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode. Thank you so much for joining us in this one. Let's catch you on the next. And also consider subscribing if it's your first time here, right?